Hey there, it's Kimberly with Knit for Brains, and today I'm going to take you for a tour around my craft room and show you some of the ideas that I've had as far as organizing my yarn and my different crafts. So stay tuned to take a tour with me of my craft room. Some people have been asking, what does your craft room look like? Like, I've shown little corners here and little bits and pieces over there. And, you know, for the longest time, it's just been a work in progress. And then you bring in more yarn and then you have to like unpack and reorganize and all that kind of stuff. Well, we just had a big reorganization downstairs. We had a flood from our upstairs down to our downstairs. And as a result, we ended up redesigning and redecorating our whole downstairs bar lounge area, which has now become this really awesome hang. But it meant moving a lot of the yarn because I had yarn stashed in a lot of places throughout the house, you know, because you just decide you want to do a craft over here, do a little crochet over here, you know, kind of everywhere. So I moved everything upstairs here into my room, and it's taken a little bit of time to get it all organized. And, you know, I love it. You know, certain parts of I like minimalist. I don't like to have a lot of stuff laying out, so that can kind of make me a little anxious in this room, but it's all very creative. It's all very colorful. And so I'm gonna like be okay with it. So I've decided it's time, and I'm gonna take you for a tour around my craft room. So here we go. So here we are in my craft room. This used to be my son's room, and then he actually moved out twice. The first time he moved out, my husband and I were like, we don't really think you're going to be back. We don't really think you're going to be staying gone. So we actually left the room like it was. The second time he moved out, he moved up to Los Angeles, a lot farther away than just like down the street. And he actually signed a lease. So literally the very next weekend he moved out, we stripped this place, cleaned the carpet, and then painted the walls, and then the restoration began. So let's give it a shot. This nice, relaxing blue color. I'll start in my yarns because that's my that's my primary craft. This is some of my stash here. And so I'll show you what I did with all of my cakes. I bought these little pegs on Amazon, and I got this pegboard. I think you can probably see it through there. So I got this pegboard at my local hardware store, and then bought just a bunch of pegs and popped them all in there, and I made this really cool pegboard. So that's how I store all of my cakes, which I thought was a pretty interesting idea because it keeps everything up off the ground. You can see everything all at once. You can actually make designs with it. And then what I did was I didn't take out the coat racks that were above here, and I just bought these S-hooks on Amazon, and a whole mess of them. And then I hang all of my skeins this way. And so all my skeins are here. And then on the second rack, they're all down here. Now, it looks a little messy down here. That's some of my son's stuff that's still there. So we're not going to look at that. I got these really cool little buckets that I put my tassels and things for hats. This just needs to go up in a space. And sometimes with the wall, you can actually just find a space and stick a little cake in there too. So that's actually pretty, like I have a cake over here that I just need to, and I'll just stuff it right into this hole. There we go. So this was a pretty ingenious idea. If you want to see more on this, I have a video that I did, and I'll include it in the link here. So I've just got more of my hanks, but as you can see, I'm a little remiss. I've got more yarn then I kind of know what to do with. Actually, I do know what to do with it, for heaven's sakes. We all know what to do with our yarns, right? So the second part of the closet is here. And again, this was just structure. This was shelving units that were already in here. So I took advantage of it. This is all of my weaving yarns for, because I weave. I'm going to show you that in a second. And then I used to keep all my pattern books here, but I've now moved them out. So more cakes. In here, I have some specialty yarns and some little pots that I found at Target. And you can actually, I have some crocheted amigurumi cactuses that I found, these adorable pots. And I'm going to do these amigurumi. So I do these for like birthday gifts for friends and different things like that. But they love them. This is really cute. So I got a bunch of the pots in here. And then I even found these cute little, like a dinosaur that you can do an amigurumi cactus in. And a giraffe, I think there's one here. So I keep all these in here. My nicer little small skeins I keep inside here. And then I have some fun little novelty fabrics that I found. Actually, I found these at the dollar store. So if I'm doing like a purse, crocheting a purse, I want to do like a little lining, I can use these. And just some cute little novelty yarns. So I try to keep everything together so I know, like, if I'm going to do a project, you know, what colors I have together. So, you know, it needs a little bit of work there. This one here is a little bit more of my high-end, expensive Italian yarns and things like that. So this drawer probably needs, this area needs a little bit of help. I'm not going to lie. Over on this side, so I have all of my Noro yarns pretty much all together in the same. And then some of my really, really big skeins, like my Lions brand, Pound of Love, I keep up in these higher areas here. These are all of my cotton and hemp, mostly. And then there's some little novelty stuff there in the back. A lot of my yarns, like my Summer Nights, which I really enjoyed. I use this for... Slight yarn avalanche. All is well. Here's some more of my bigger cakes and some more of the novelty yarns and different things like that. This is my jumbo knitting machine, which I'm going to do a whole segment on this. All right, so over here, this is just a little bit of a Notion drawer, and I used to sell this stuff called Color Street, which is nail polish, like so. And so this is just whatever little stash I have left. So this is where all my nails and things are. This is just where I do my my videos, but it's also set up to do like Netflix. And so sometimes I'm sitting in here and I'm just enjoying and watching TV. Here. Okay, now over here, this takes up a lot of space, which I know a lot of you don't have in a craft room like this. This here is my loom, and this is actually relatively small considering the size of some looms. I joined my local weavers group, and this and all of these spinners, ball winders, the whole thing, this whole box of tools, and this, I mean, everything, this whole entire setup, I got for $200. This woman had passed away, and I guess for some weavers, this is not quite large enough. For me, it is plenty large enough. And so this is my loom, and I can sit in here on my bench, and this is where I have all of my weaving yarns and threads for my loom. So this is relatively new. As I say relatively new, I mean it's only like a year old. So if it wasn't for this, I probably would have a lot more room in my craft area. This is my loom, and what's really sweet, if you guys can see, I'll give you a close-up. This woman right there, that is Joyce, and she died at the age of like 94. This was her loom. And so I was able to get a copy of her memorial notice. And so I keep her close to me. And so anytime I have any questions about the loom, I just ask Joyce. So Joyce and I, we do this together. Here's some more really cool of my interesting kind of like raw silks yarns that I just love. And I just put them on this nice hook. It was like a macrame hang, but I thought that's kind of neat. So I'd like to try to make my yarn artsy, if you will. For instance, this piece here I got at a home store, and it's just a yarn, it's just a wall unit. But I thought, man, that's really cool. So I use a lot of my yarn, stuff them in here. I have different things here for the yarn where I keep it. And then one of my favorites is over here. I found these little guys on Amazon, and I do use this yarn, but I love this display so much that I might not ever use the yarn. I might just kind of keep it right there. So I got my little cactus here. So it kind of has a boho feel for me. Here's a piece of macrame that I made, and I was actually going to do some macrame craft on that. I might still do that and just have some yarn coming off of that. But this is definitely my little babe cave. This is my area where I just sit. I have over here my little notions. I've got some candles because I love my candles. And then over here, I have my little yarn ball where I keep my Noro yarns and different things like that. And then I've got my little DVD player down here so I can actually watch some videos, or I can just sit here and I can look out at the view, my backyard. We have a beautiful canyon out the back, so I can watch all the birds coming in, and I can just sit and enjoy the view while I craft and while I create, or while I, do my videos or anything. So if you ever see me do like an unboxing video, I do it from here. If I'm doing any of my tutorial videos, I'm going to show you that little area in a second. But honestly, I really, really, really just love this space so much. This is my bookshelf where I keep all of my craft books. So the top shelf is all my crochet and the bottom shelf is all of my knitting. Over here are all of my little magazines, like my Noro or little pamphlet pattern books. And then I've got some books. So when I moved everything from upstairs or from downstairs and moved it up, I put all those here. So obviously I don't have enough room for all of my crochet books, but they're at least all in one place, so I can look at them anytime I want. And then this last space over here, this is sort of my workspace. So I've got these really great little jars that I found, I think on Wayfair. And I keep all my little notions in here. My, like these are some paper clips, and I keep my stitch markers, yarns, and little seashells and little baubles and whatever it is that I'm doing here. This is when I just did that recent trip to Seattle. This was a yarn that I picked up. It was called Market Flowers, and this is the pattern that I got to go along with it. So this is going to be probably my next deal here. And then this one here, I got in Ashland, Oregon. This was called Nighttime Sunflowers, I think it was, or Nighttime Flowers. And so I have to find a pattern for that as well. So these are my two recent projects, or upcoming projects rather. And then this is just kind of where I do, like if I do any video tutorials, I do them all right here. And then this is my notebook that I keep really nice and close. So every time I finish a project, I put in the type of yarn that I use, at least one of the labels. I write down all the notes if I made the pattern myself. This one here, like these are patterns I actually made myself. These were the yarns that I used, what was in it, how many skeins I used. So it just kind of helps out. This is another pattern that I have created that I'm in the process of making. So I've got my measurements there. So it just kind of helps to keep track of everything that I'm doing. And then if I need to have any blockers, if I'm going to be blocking, wet blocking anything, they all sit over there. That's it. So this is pretty much my craft room. So that's it. This is my craft room. It's not big. And I know there's a lot of stuff going on, but you know what? I really like it. Like I have this really sweet little corner that I get to sit in over there, so I can close my door and just kind of create and enjoy my space. To me, it's just got a lot of vibe and a lot of color. So there you go. This is Kimberly with Knit for Brains in my craft space, and you are welcome to come here anytime you'd like. And I'll even give you some yarn while you're here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon.